Hi guys, I'm Emma and welcome to Art by Emma. So for this week's video, I'm going to be delving back into my Create This book by the lovely Moriah Elizabeth, and I'm going to be doing the page Choose One Colour because I want to be working again with my lovely black Posca pens that I got in every size. So let's get on with it, shall we? And here are my beauties, my treasures in the lovely Kilner jar. So let's get them out, starting with the nice big thick one. I don't really know I'm going to be using this one, but we have the variety of sizes like we looked at last week. And I'm just going to do a simple black pattern on this. It says choose one colour. They're all black. So I know black typically isn't a colour per se, but that's what I'm going with this week. So my first selection is going to be this little paint pen brush marker that I enjoyed so much last week. So I'm just going to do a few trial swipes on the paper, and yeah, so far so good. It seems to be running nicely. So just testing it out, making sure my lines are coming, and oh my goodness, disaster. So this week I've not even started before I'm messing it up, and there's a big smudge on the paper, but oh well, we'll work with it. So this design is just going to be a little simple design that I actually saw somebody do on TikTok. It's hard to explain really. You just put the lines on the paper, divide those lines up into sections, and draw lines to joining those sections together. It's easier if you watch and see what I'm doing, but it looks it doesn't look great to start with, but I think the finished result looks really effective. So yeah, that's the general idea. It's like a chain of seed pods or something. So anyway, in between those joins, you just take some lines off of there, divide them up again, and do exactly the same again. So for this next stage of the pattern, I've switched up my pen. I'm now using my 0.9 to 1.3 bullet tipped Posca pen, because with that brush tip one, it's hard to get a more intricate line. So the next step here is to join up the joins and continue making these seed pod patterns. So now hopefully you can see this pattern coming together. It looks like a bunch of flowers, a cluster of flowers or something. And as the pattern's getting smaller and smaller, I'm using my 0.7 bullet tipped Posca pen. And now let me tell you, this was so time consuming to do, just putting all these lines in and etc. And it got a bit monotonous and a little bit boring until you see the pattern emerging, and then it kind of makes it a little bit more worthwhile. So now the idea is with this is to carry on making these little petaled seed pod type patterns until you can't fit any more in. And then just all the white that you can see, just fill it in with a pen just so you get a black background, and there you have it. All finished and looking quite effective. So the next page I'm going to be working on in this week's Create This book is Create a Wall, and it's out with my pencil and ruler this time. Now the prompt is not just to create a wall, it's to create a wall and imagine this page as a wall and do some graffiti on it. Now this took me back to when I was a teenager in high school. We had these things called chads, and chads were these little things that peered over the top of walls with big noses, and they always came up with a phrase, what, no, whatever. So that's what I'm going to create. I'm going to create a wall, and then I'm going to draw a little Chad peering over with what, no art written on the wall. So I've sketched out my little Chad peering over the wall, which is kind of hard for you to see because it's pale pencil on white background and the light's glaring on it, and my head was getting involved, so I didn't show you that. And then I'm just doing in my best graffiti writing what, no art across the wall, and I'm just lining in some brick shapes. And gosh, look at the precision on me using a ruler to draw those bricks in. So the next step for me today is going to be outlining all the Chad and all my graffiti, first of all with my black Posca pen. And to decorate, to adorn my wall, I'm using my Staedtler colouring pencils. So I'm going to select these three orange and brown pencils to colour in my wall. So I'm going to put a base coat down first of this orange, and then I'm going to add the detail in a little bit. Now that's all coloured in, I'm going to use this dark brown pencil to define the edges of the bricks and use this as the grouting, the render, the cement that's holding the bricks together. Now again, this is a very tedious task and gave a lot of hand cramping, but it was so worthwhile in the end. And after all that grouting was filled in and completed, it was time to get my mid-brown pencil crayon out and just do a bit of shading on the bricks to give them a little bit of definition to make it look a little bit more like a brick wall, and it seems to be coming together. I think I spent longer on the brick wall than I did on anything else on this page, but I think it makes it. So with the brick wall all completed, it's time to concentrate on what should be the hero of this page, the graffiti. And I'm going to be using the full array of rainbow, and why not? But omitting the orange because I've used it for the wall, and the blue because that's what colour I'm going to do my Chad. So with my graffiti all coloured in nice and colourful, I'm going to start using these blues on my Chad, and I'm using 3 different shades of blue so I can give him a little bit of dimension. And this is always a fiddly bit, this part in between the 2 pages trying to get in there, but we're persevering, building up this blue and just using the darker blues to give it some shadow and dimension, just to hopefully make it pop a little bit, and just adding a little bit of shadow on top of the wall just to give it some depth and a little highlight in the eyes. And then I'm going to add some lens flares on the graffiti just to make that pop also. So this page has turned into a bit of a multimedia project, and here are my finished pages. This is the first one. This was really quite tedious to do, but I just love the result. This is looks like a bunch of flowers, or I don't know, a field of flowers maybe. It was very tedious to do, but the results are lovely. And my next page is my Chad, my graffiti wall. Again, I'm really pleased with this page. He turns out really well. The bricks are looking lush, makes the graffiti pop. I hope you've enjoyed this video this week. I did enjoy doing it, although I got a little bit bored halfway through. Thank you so much for watching. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up. If you like my videos, why don't you subscribe to the channel? And I will see you next week. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.